I have a confession to make. Well, actually, it's more like 5 or 6 confessions, but we're just gonna pretend it's one big one for the sake of time. This YouTube video was supposed to be done about 3 months ago, but due to a number of delays, I only just got it done recently. Let me tell you the story. It all started on May 27th, when a friend and fellow YouTuber Brennan from the Quillen Voss channel messaged me about my latest video. He gave me some awesome feedback and then asked me if I could create a piece based on the Star Wars EU slogans. Now, when I say EU, what might come to mind is the European Union, the countries in Europe that have united for whatever reasons. Look, I haven't spent a lot of time researching this topic. It's not worth it for one bit in a video. Anyway, when I say EU, I don't mean European Union. I'm talking about the expanded universe of Star Wars, sometimes called Star Wars Legends. Now, I'm not going to pretend to be an expert when it comes to Star Wars either, so if you want to know about the Star Wars Expanded Universe, I'll post a link to Brennan's channel in the description and in the cards. Anyway, so when he asked if I could create a piece featuring the EU slogans, I of course jumped on the idea. He asked if it could be done with a kind of starry background, and this immediately got my brain racing, so I agreed and prepared to start work on it. But then some things happened. My siblings and I signed up for a 5-day skill building course that would teach us everything from automobile maintenance to flower arranging, and it took up a lot of our time. We'd gotten early access to it, and so had started the coursework around the time I had been commissioned for this project. So that took up most of my time. The next major event was my little sister's birthday, followed by mine about 6 days after. And then, 3 days after my birthday, I went to camp with my sister. And by this point, it was already the second week of July, so about 5 to 6 weeks after the original request. Now, you may be thinking, Estrella, you had plenty of time to get this done. That was July. This is August. And yes, I know. But a few more things have happened between then and now. You see, I had a lot, and I mean a lot, of overdue schoolwork, and I had to get it done in 2 weeks before my second summer camp started. Oh, and did I mention I was writing a short story for a competition? That's right, I was doing that as well, and it had a deadline of August 1st. But the problem was that the camp started on the 23rd of July and ended on the 28th, so I had to do it before camp. So by the time July 23rd comes around, I haven't had any time to do art. Then that afternoon, it was off to camp again, and by the time I was home, it was the 28th, and I was exhausted. I spent a few days resting, and then I was finally able to start on my project. Now, another thing you may have noticed was that this video started with me already halfway through this project. Let me explain why that happened. So, I was having a really hard time doing any sort of art at all since I was out of practice, and since I'd spent so long writing that book, I was just kind of burnt out. And I was just too stressed to try and work on the basic design on camera. So I decided to work out the basic structure off camera so as not to pressure myself into doing it quickly. But before I knew it, I had done half the work and not recorded a thing. So with that out of the way, hopefully you'll be able to accept my apologies for not uploading weeks and for not having all the footage for this video. And now with that out of the way, I can talk about some of the techniques I've tried in this video. I started by using my lightbox to trace the letters like I normally do, but it didn't work. Then I tried to cut the letters out and trace around them, and it did okay, but I think I can do better. What I'm trying to do now is an old technique from before I had my lightbox. I'll explain how I do this in another video, but the end result is normally a light line of graphite on the new page. I don't expect to be able to see the graphite this time, but I'm hoping to see the indentation from the pencil if I push hard enough. And it worked! It's kind of hard to see on camera, I don't think you can see actually, but you will have to believe me, it did work. And now that I know it works, I can use this technique for the whole project. While we're here, I've got a question to ask you guys. What was your first introduction to Star Wars? For me, it was watching A New Hope with my family and getting bored about 5 minutes in and going upstairs. Don't panic, any avid Star Wars fans. I did finish it later on, I think it was a couple of months later. And I'm so glad I did. They are such good movies. I really enjoyed them. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. But I really, really enjoyed them. It's impossible to not like those movies. They are so, so good. Moment of truth. Let's see if it worked. And it looks like it did. That's a pretty successful trace. I'm happy with that. Now to do it again, only this time I have to make sure I'm pressing down hard enough to leave an indentation in the page. like as good a time as any to ask you guys what you think you want to see on this channel. Do you want to see more like complete how I made these kind of things videos? Do you want to see me collaborate with other people? Do you want to see tips and tricks for hand lettering? Do you want to see how-tos? Do you want to see some kind of gameplay videos? Let me know what you guys want down in the comments. So it turns out I made a mistake. The page slipped and my lettering came out kind of askew, so I'm going to erase it, blue tack the page more securely, and try again. Now we can move on to one of the final steps in this project, which is just tracing over the letters in the yellow pen to make it kind of look like the Star Wars font, like, you know how it's black and then there's the yellow, like, hollow Star Wars letters. That's kind of the vibe I'm going for here. Wait, pause the video. I had this idea to do a really cool starry background like in Star Wars, but I knew I didn't have the skill set for that, so I knew I needed to recruit some help. In the form of my little sister, of course. Basically, she's going to be the one doing most of the rest of the art from now on. My desk got absolutely covered in white paint because of this project. There's still flecks on it today. Like, oh my goodness, my sister has such a good, cool style, but she is so messy when she does it. Hey look, you can see me explaining where I do and don't want the paint to go. Cool. Also, let me just stress how dedicated my sister was for this project. She literally cut up a paintbrush to do this. Thank you so much. The dedication is real. Well, here we go. It's time for the big reveal. Fingers crossed. And here it is. Oh my goodness, it looks so good. Even looking back now, I love it so much. Definitely my best piece. Thank you so much to Brennan from the Quinlan Voss channel for suggesting this. This is so cool. And of course, thank you to my little sister for doing the background. The stars, the paint looks like star flecks from far away. It's so amazing. Oh my goodness, I love it. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe because that really helps me out. And subscribe to Brennan's channel too, since he was the one who suggested this art idea. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!